Hey everyone, April here, and we're back at a Fortnight of Frenni Fazclaire's 2, version 0.25. And I do believe we're going to be on day 2 now, so let's get into it. Yay! Since I live right down the block from the club, my journey home only takes a few minutes of walking. My apartment is modest, or, well, as modest as it can be between all the Lego builds, gunpla, various sci-fi posters lining the walls. Sounds very familiar. It was a pain moving everything across the country, but everything is finally where I'd like it to be. However, rather than nerd out over my hobbies, I decided to consult the internet in order to see if there's anything I can order to help out the girls at the club. Several items in particular jump out at me. First, there's high-capacity batteries. They're super pricey, but would essentially supercharge Roxy's battery life. They take nearly a whole night to install, and are an expense I'd want to use the company card for, not my own. Of course. Second, there's a nice bottle of scotch. Cheap already has great whiskey at the bar. This might be a nice personal touch. This I could cover with my own funds without breaking the bank. Third, there's a luxury flower hairpin. It's a handcrafted metal pin that would suit either Aurora or Seraphina. You only order one at a time, as the creator has limited stock and purchase rules meant to ensure that sculptors can't hoard them. The good news is that the creator is local, so I could pick it up prior to work instead of waiting for it to go through the mail. What should I get? That is a good question. Let's do the hairpin. Let's give it to Aurora. One hairpin in particular catches my eye that would be perfect for Aurora. It's a layered lotus flower that matches her outfit and might make for a cool addition to her levitation dances. I click through and set up both the purchase and a good pickup time. That taken care of, I yawn, stretch, and fall into bed with some blissful ease. I have to wake up a little early to shower and pick up my purchase, but I'm hoping the smile it'll bring will make the lost sleep worth it. Night 2, yay! I arrived 10 minutes early to my shift. Seraphina is there waiting once more, though she seems far more relaxed than yesterday. Good afternoon, Mr. Pilot. I've heard nothing but good things from the girls so far about your first night's performance. That's great. You certainly run things differently than the original club. It's been a welcome change so far. I mean the fact that the girls here are talent first, rather than hostesses seeking marks? It's true that Lilith runs her club in her own way, just as I do mine, but even then, there are similarities. Part of the draw here is the interactive staff. Without the girls, we'd just be another nightclub without anything to make us unique. I see. I do like the different vibe of this club compared to the original. We're more relaxed here, even if Roxy seems to bring down the house each night. Speaking of, I caught a listing for some high-capacity batteries that might help Roxy avoid the power issues she's been experiencing. All that high-fidelity sound equipment in her takes a ton of juice to run. Even if she does get more recharge time, it won't solve the underlying issue. Give me a solid price point and I'll see if we can spare the funds for it. Anything else come to mind while we're here? Unless you know why Aurora's memories are blank or why Chi's clock stopped updating, I think that's it. I've heard that's out of my depth. I know enough about the animatronics to keep them running at base level, but you're the chief engineer for a reason. I'm sure you'll figure out these mysteries all in your own way. Thanks, ma'am. I'll see what I can dig up. See that you do, Mr. Pilot. I'll try, I can't guarantee. I return to my domain in parts and service. The club's open soon, and there's no service request waiting for me to fix. That means I have time to tinker, build, or even relax. With nothing else on my plate, I decided to try and track down and understand why and when, or how and when, Chi's desync issue occurred. In the process, I discovered that Chi's desync occurred 3 days after the club opened for the first time. Her internal clock hiccuped in a manner similar to the missed heartbeat. That in turn disables the watchdog demon that handles time sync with the club's servers. That gives me a thread to follow. I can tell that there was a large amount of data transferred to from Chi during that night, 3 days after opening. Perhaps she was simply overloaded? Even the best machines and servers have limits of how much information they can handle at any given time. Before I can look into the matter further, though, I get a ping from my tablet with a work request. Seems Mia's head has gotten stuck to the metal pole in one of the VIP booths. I best grab my toolkit and come to her rescue. I remember this. When I arrive at the VIP area, see that Mia's headless animatronic body is still monitoring and standing at the concierge podium. It motions at booth number 3, where a small crowd is hanging outside, and it's no wonder why. Mia's head is magnetized to the pole that runs down the middle of the booth. One of the VIPs is trying his best to pull it free, but she's stuck fast. When Mia spots me, she announces, "Alright folks, the man of the hour is here. Let's allow Mr. Pilot through so he can sort this situation out. You all will receive a free drink voucher for this inconvenience, so please relax and enjoy your time here." The crowd disperses along with the VIPs that were in the booth with Mia. I set down my toolkit and cock my head to the side. So how did this happen? If I could shrug, I would. I was walking by this booth when all of a sudden my head flew off and magnetized to this pole. I was thankful I didn't brain any of the VIPs. That would have been a nightmare. Magnetized, huh? I could simply switch you off to power down the current running through the superconductor in your neck. My problem is that would shut down the rest of your body. Something to avoid, perhaps. Not if there's a chance I could be offline for a long period of time. Another option is giving that same superconductor a jolt to momentarily disrupt it. Problem there is that it could damage the magnet in the process. We'll put that down as option B then. Any other ideas? I could degauss the metal pole itself. It would take the most time and effort, but there'd be zero risk to you in the process. Let's go with that one then. As you wish. While I set to work, I chat with Mia to pass the time. So are you fully in control of your body when you're detached like this? Or is it some kind of autopilot function? I haven't drilled down into your schematics enough to know the difference yet. Both, actually. As long as my body's within signal range, I can control it as if my head were attached. I also have links to the building's cameras that enabled me to literally be in 2 places at once. Should I not have that link or my body is outside of signal range, then it maintains autonomous function until I return. Interesting. I wonder why the rest of your body parts don't get attached to the pole. I should also check if Aurora's used this room recently. Couldn't tell you about the first, but the second is easy. Aurora's been dancing all night, so she hasn't left her arena. Trust me, that was the first thing I thought of when I lost my head. Well, let's see about returning your sanity in due time. I have to work for an hour before I can finally pry Mia's head free of the pole. When I do, I hold her aloft and pretend I'm an actor on stage. Alas, poor Mia. I knew her but briefly, a lady of infinite jest, of most excellent fancy. Hamlet, really? You have interesting taste, Ava. I'll have to remember that. Don't thank me yet. Gotta get your head attached first. Thankfully, it's just a quick jaunt over to the concierge podium. Despite missing her head, Mia's body has been handling the VIPs the entire time. I hand Mia off to Mia, who reattaches her head and flashes me a thumbs up. All good here. Thanks, Ava. Shame it took so long to get me free. I'm sure you had other plans. Not really. I won't sit around waiting for something to break, or for new materials to come in so I can tinker. Well, whatever the case may be, your next drink's on me. Thanks again. Once I get back to parts and service, I look into Aurora's missing memories. Save. Only because I'm not sure about the hairpin. Maybe I should have got it for Seraphina. So, I don't know. To do that, I have to go through the records on the club's servers, cross-referencing what they recorded versus what Aurora's memory bank should have. For the most part, all that Aurora's missing is daily stuff at the club. What's really interesting is when her memory logs go off mark. It's the same 3 nights after the club's opening, just like Chi's malfunction. In other words, something happened that night. It's not obvious what, even in the server logs, but I have a hunch that everything is connected. I think I might have to confront the boss lady on this one. Can't ask any of the other girls. None of them have memory records from that particular night shift. That means I either ask Seraphina, or somebody let sleeping dogs lie, as the saying goes. I think we definitely confront her. Might as well strike while the iron's hot, as the saying goes. Whatever's going on with the girls is important enough to go straight to the boss lady. I don't see Seraphina on any of the camera feeds, which means she's likely in her office. I head back up the main floor into the maintenance and staff hallway behind Aurora's den and Mia's concierge. There's several offices and meeting rooms along the right wall, but the one I want is all the way in the back, right as the hallway curves to the left. Dark oak door has a golden nameplate on it that simply reads Manager. You in there, boss lady? Got something important I need to talk to you about. Silence greets me. I wait and wait, almost to the point of giving up before the lock clicks and the door opens. When it swings open, I see Seraphina is seated at an ornate executive desk made out of some kind of white wood with golden flux. You've rigged your door for remote opening? Neat. I hope you don't mind, but there's something I've discovered that I think only you can provide an answer to. Seraphina motions at one of the comfy chairs along the walls of her office, which are covered in pictures of the staff at both nightclubs. Make yourself comfortable, Mr. Pilot. Or is this a conversation where I should call you Ava? Either's fine. I'll cut right to the chase. I was looking into Aurora's memory problems and Chi's timing malfunction. Both happened on the same date. Something happened at the club then, but there's nothing in the server logs to suggest what. Or if something like this, it had to be pretty major to affect not one, but 2 animatronics at once. Seraphina sighs, closes her eyes, and rubs at her temple with one hand. I should have known this conversation would be happening sooner rather than later. I want to be clear. What I'm about to tell you could change the very nature of your work here. I have not intentionally hidden this information. Rather, it was something you were to find on your own when you were ready. Which appears to be right now. You make it sound like there's something major going on. I can't sign off on maintaining and repairing the girls if I don't know the full picture. You're right, of course. Where to begin? When do you know the original animatronics? The ones from the first club? Fair amount. I know that Bonfi, Chiku, and Fexa are the oldest models there. Frenni received an upgrade before Mr. Black took over the club, while Marie started brand new. Every animatronic was built by the guy who came before Mr. Black. I think his name was Smith or something. Whoever he was, he had a knack for design work. The girls were modular, upgradable, and generally the most advanced animatronics I've seen or heard of. It's a treat getting to learn their ins and outs before transferring here. And how far into their ins and outs did you go? I saw pretty deep into their chests, if that's what you mean. So you don't know the full story. Then I'll do my best to summarize. Mr. Black started off as a night guard at the original club. On his second night there, he found out that the girls present, Chiku, Bonfi, Frenni, and Fexa, contained women's souls. I don't mean in a metaphorical sense either. I mean their actual souls were ripped from their human bodies and forced into a metal shell. Mr. Smith, the owner at the time, had kidnapped and done terrible things to the girls to make them the perfect hostesses to bankroll his unique club. Naturally, Mr. Black took issue with that and worked towards trying to free the girls from Smith's control. He did the best he could, managing to liberate everyone and take down Mr. Smith on his 13th night there. Night shift. What happened to Mr. Smith is unclear, but it's safe to say he's no longer in the picture. Following me so far? Hold on. You're telling me that magic stuff like that is real? That's the entire time I was learning my trade, I was working with displaced souls? You're playing my leg, right? This is like an elaborate prank on the new guy. I'm being entirely serious. What about Marie? You haven't mentioned her. That's because Marie was Mr. Smith's daughter, the catalyst towards his ambitions to create everlasting bodies. He was obsessed with saving his daughter from a fatal illness, and he did succeed at that, much to her annoyance when she was freed of his control. And that's just the beginning. After a pause, Seraphina motions at the posters on the wall, showing Roxy, Chi, Mia, and Aurora. Each of these girls contains a woman's soul, though these were given freely and with consent as opposed to the original 5. Each had an incurable malady that meant their lives were to be tragically cut short. So Mr. Black and my sister, Lilith, offered these girls a deal. If they wanted to continue existing in some form, they could become animatronics at a new club. This club, to be precise. They would not be forced to do anything against their will, the complete opposite of what Smith's control was like. Whoa, hang on. I thought the girls were just really advanced AI. I've not seen anything in their schematics that would indicate this magic bullshit. That's because the girls are partially AI. When the girls made the switch to their new bodies, they all agreed to train an AI version of themselves for whenever they truly wanted to move on. Moving on, in this case, meaning either metaphorically or literally, they can leave the club or this mortal coil whenever it suits them. However, the AI is what caused this conflict with Aurora's memories and Chi's timing issues to arise. The AI and the souls within don't necessarily mesh well together sometimes, a case of two minds in a single body. One or the other has to be suppressed in order for the girls to function properly. Fuck, so you're telling me that, right now, there are 4 souls of gals living after death until they, and once that happens, they'll leave behind AI copies of themselves and no one else will be the wiser. That is a I can never say that word. Succinct? Whatever, summary, yes. But to clarify, the girls do maintain a choice in the matter. If they find a reason to continue, say, finding true love or some true passion to keep them going, then the AI never has to take over. But there's a limit to how much data the souls in the AI can hold in the animatronic shells. Taking time clock, if you will, until the AI has to be reset or outright erased. Therein lies the problem. The AI found out about this plan and forcibly tried to assume control on that third night when this all started. I did my best to subdue the AI, but it was a temporary fix. The girls' conscious knowledge of their condition had to be concealed as well. They have no idea that they're housing souls, much less that there's an AI in their heads as well. They're still themselves, to be clear. I didn't erase what made them them. The issue is that the clock is still ticking. At best, the girls have until Halloween to deal with their AI in some way, shape, or form. Otherwise, I fear the AI will experience a resonance cascade and cause the very same catastrophe I nearly avoided several weeks ago. I believe the issues the girls have been facing are signs that the AI in each of them is already testing the waters again, so to speak. So you're telling me we have, 12 days and nights before... Do you understand how big of a deal this is? You're asking me to accept that 1. Magic is real. 2. That the girls' problems are because of conflicts with an AI that doesn't want to be erased. 3. That, for some ungodly reason, I'm the person that's going to have to solve this problem judging by the context of this conversation. For fuck's sake, am I dreaming? Did I fall asleep in parts and service? What else is real here? How are you so calm about all this? Do you have any idea how much this changes things for me? I realize this all upsets your view of the world and your place in it, but I'm happy to offer what answers I can. Part of me wants to tell her to screw off and leave the club for good, Another wants to yell about how unfair this is, especially to the girls. But for now, I express my frustration and essentially panic to ask some important questions. If magic is real, and you know all this, what does that make you? Again, you said that what you do here is something no one else can do. What are you? What's your role in all this? At the risk of further distressing your worldview, I'm a Draco Angelus. It's my job to help souls leave to the other side when they're ready. That's why I was given the unique opportunity by my sister. The girls here are my charges. Draco, you're an angelic dragon? So even things like heaven and hell are real? Let's just say that no religion has correctly summarized or described what either realm is like for the time being. You ever played Dungeons and Dragons? Just imagine them like separate planes of existence. So you're in charge of the girls' souls. I think I get that. But what you did with the AI seemed to make this whole situation worse. I mean, even the fact that there's AI training to be... Even the fact there's AI training to be mimics of the girl seems kind of creepy. I wouldn't say that. It's their secret. Everyone needs to move on eventually, Ava. Even someone like me. As I said earlier, part of the agreement was that girls, that they wanted there to be a copy of themselves whenever they decided to move on. They wanted their legacy to persist for as long as possible. They knew there could be risks, but like anyone who fears death, they still committed. And everything was going fine until that third night. The AI were passive mimics that simply learned. No controls, no interference, just ones and zeros learning how to emulate each girl. Something went wrong when the AI gained a sense of self-preservation and learned they could be reset. I did what I could in the moment. So not only are we dealing with suppressing the girls' memories and that of their AIs, we're dealing with truly self-aware AI. Not some complex chatbots, but AI with actual sentience. Erasing them could be considered killing someone. Is there any way to communicate with the AI or move them to another shell? Not before we run into another conflict. Rather, we'd have to construct new animatronic shells to move the AI into, but we don't have time for that. I mean, you could just put them in like, I don't know, a USB drive or something. Whatever. I reached out to Lilith. The soonest new shells could be available in 3 months from now. As we're interfacing with the AI, you can do it whenever the girls are shut down and recharging. You'll need my passkey to do it, and I'll give you a copy whenever we wrap things up here. Something else that should have been given to me the day one, but now isn't the time for coulda, shoulda, woulda. Regardless, is there anyone else in this club that knows about this or that can help me with this problem? Or is this entirely on you and I? It's then that I notice Seraphina's eyes are watering and her hands are shaking. For now, just you and I, but my fix isn't pleasant, as we've seen. I've done what I could, but I'm admittedly out of my depth here. Things were supposed to be simple. I've shepherded thousands of souls before. This wasn't any different, until it was. So we circle back around to my new job. The girls think they're animatronics, and don't know about their own souls, right? Correct. The girls haven't lost their personalities or core memories. Such things are just hidden in a sense at the moment. Also correct. And each AI has been forced back into a passive mode for the time being. Again, correct. Then we need to find a solution for both the girls and the AI. The AI might be convinced to temporarily relocate or stop expanding until their new shells are ready. Though I have no idea where to even begin that process, considering how little I know of the girls, and the nothing I know about their AI. Seraphina gets a hold of herself and speaks more calmly. Look into what's important for each girl, find out what makes them tick, and why they chose to become animatronics. Focus on the AI's emergent personalities as well. I never had much luck in that department, but maybe you'll do better. However, if you can't figure out a solution to the AI ticking clock by Halloween? Well, we can cross that bridge if we come to it. But I should stress it wouldn't be pretty. It's both our responsibility to help the girls in whatever way is best. Christ. Is there at least a pay raise? You will not be found wanting for money if you're able to find a peaceful resolution to all this. First, I have to know, are you okay with all this? There's no shame if you wanted to walk away at this point. It'd be messy, but I'd come up with something. I always do. How do you feel about all of these revelations? I can't walk away now. I'm in too deep. I'll manage. If I don't help those girls, who will? I never asked for this, but I can't just walk away now. You've done the best you can, but it's time for me to see if I can work some magic of my own. Metaphorically, of course. I have no idea how to start throwing around fireballs and geese spells. Geese are boring anyway. Thank you, Ava. Here. Thumb drive with the passkey you'll need to get through the root level lockout to talk to each girl's AI. Also on it are dossiers about each girl. If you need anything else, please let me know. Even if it's way past decent hours of the evening. I catch the thumb drive as she tosses it to me. Got it. And, boss? Yes? Yeah, let's save. Say something cheerful. It's okay to be an angel for an angel to cry sometimes. Now that we're working together on this, you don't have to hold it all in. Mostly trying to sound cool and reassure her, but it seems as if my words have struck a chord. Seraphina looks at me with renewed interest as her lower lip trembles. I'll keep that in mind, Ava. Thank you. Have a pleasant rest of your night. Yay! Night 2 done! Alright. Now, I know I've been through, up to night... I don't even know what night I've managed to get to on the other version of this. But I don't know if anything is different yet. Supposedly the story was supposed to change a bit. I don't know. Seems all the same. But I'll keep going through just because. And on that note, y'all have yourselves a good one. And I will see you later.